the last place I used to work is called, we're gonna call it Cockadoodle Town, and it's like the place I keep referencing in like all my videos. And then the story time of it is um how I got fired from my job. I think that's the name of the story time. Okay, well, Cockadoodle Town. So anytime I talk about Cockadoodle Town, now we know what I'm talking about. Okay, so when I first started at Cockadoodle Town, like I fucking love talking because the thing is, like, I used to be like, no, I can't. I told you guys this. I was like, no, I can't talk about it because, like after, like, you never want to look like, I feel like I just didn't want to look like one of those girls that was like mentally like unhinged, that was like, oh, now I'm gonna like, since like you wronged me, since I think you wronged me, like I'm gonna go and like tell the whole internet about it. But it's like at the same time, it's like you watch creators and the reason they're good creators is because they share their life. And like this is a huge fucking thing in my life. Like this just ended like 8 months ago, I think, maybe. Like I only worked there for 6 months, but like it was like a fucking ride of a lifetime. And it's just like I learned so many lessons from it that it's like I have to talk about it. Like I have to talk about it. And it's like I watch creators so that I can like relate to their life and I feel seen and I feel like they're my friends, because like sometimes when you go through something very complex, it's called like complex trauma. It's like when you hear someone else going through, like, you think you're crazy, and then when you like hear someone else go through something similar, like, and you feel like validated, it's like it's everything, you know what I mean? So the reason like I keep talking about it is not because I'm trying to like, it's not for any like evil reasons or just like sloppy reasons. Like I go back and forth on this like a lot, and like I've cut like a lot of things out, and like I've tried to sometimes I try to like force, I don't know. I'm just like, do I talk about it? Do I not? And I'm like, I just have to live my truth. If I regret it one day, I'm gonna have to just delete every video that I'm talking about Cockadoodle Town in. But like for me, for my truth right now, like I think it's the right decision to like keep talking about it. And like I just think that like even if like, yeah, it's always about that one person, isn't it? Like you hear people say that, I'm like, oh yeah, really? Like you're just doing it for the one person? It's like, no, like you are. Like I really am. Like if someone can relate to it, if someone like, like I want someone to feel seen by like my story, and like this is my truth, like this is what's going to like get the views, this is what's going to keep people captivated in my YouTube channel, because like it's what I'm going through, it's my truth, like I just barely healed from this. Like I feel like once you come out of a relationship, it takes as long as the relationship to like heal from it, and like of course I'm not like sad, I'm not sad about it now, like I'm over it, I never want those people in my life again. But the thing is, it's like now, like, yeah, it's just like I need to talk about it because something's just like pushing me to talk about it. I don't know what it is. It's just like, I hope it's not my ego that's not pushing me to talk about it. I try to be very conscious of it not being that, but like I do think it's like, cuz I told you, I go when I like make videos, I like connect to like my higher self. Like I really do. I try to, cuz like this is when I'm having like my fun, is making videos. Like I fucking love making videos. So like I just, whenever I'm like creating, this is like my art, my creation, it's like I'm connecting with like my higher self, my best self, and I'm like, I think my best self is like telling me to do this. I don't think it's like my ego telling me to do this. Anyway, so we talked about like the owner a lot in the last video, and now I'm going to talk about the fucking manager that I worked with. Oh my god, like truly, like, again, I always fucking say this too. I'm like, she's not a bad person. It's just that, like, people aren't bad people. Sometimes people can, like, do horrendous, horrible things to you, but they're, like, the greatest person to someone else. And, like, I feel like people look at me like this. Like, I feel like, I'm not a perfect person. So, like, in someone's story, I'm a fucking villain. I'm fucking terrible. And, like, no, I haven't always been like the best type of friend to people, especially since like I'm an avoidant attachment. If we know about attachment styles, avoidance, they're the worst. Okay, so they'll just push you out. They'll just push you out your life like you're nothing. So, me. Um I mean, it's not funny. Like I try to heal. Like I try to. I've grown. I've grown. Once you know your attachment style, it's easy to like break the pattern, but it's dangerous when you don't know about attachment styles and you're like in a void because you think you're like so justified, and it's like, oh no, was never justified. That's just my attachment style. You guys know what I'm talking about with attachment styles, right? So you either have like anxious attachment, where it's people that like need to like be your best friend, like they're so scared of abandonment. There's avoidant attachment, where people like it's the people where they feel safest when they're just like by themselves alone, hyper independent people. It stems from like not getting your emotional needs met in childhood, and like so then you always like anytime you get too close with someone, all of a sudden one day it just switches and you're like, you need to get out of my life, I feel like suffocated by you, you need to leave, like goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And like and then there's secure attachment style, where it's just like you can be normal, and people trigger different attachment styles out of you. Like definitely you lean in one direction or the other. I lean very avoidant, but like certain people, like I could be anxious attachment with someone else, or I could be secure attachment. Like I'm secure attachment with people who like I feel loved by, you know. But then like some people will trigger my avoidant attachment, and I'll just be like, get the fuck out of my life, bye. Okay, anyway, so when I first started that job, I like made the mistake of like I just like yeah, I just like thought these people were like gonna be my friends, and like they just like I think like what it was is like the reason why like I got burned, and the reason is why like things didn't work out is because this sounds fucking crazy, is because like at the end of the day, like they're fucking jealous, like they were always fucking jealous of me, like sorry, like truth. um So that's why you need to like I'm like, okay, Billy, like that's what I was talking about in the kitchen. Like you need to only like give your energy to people that are on your fucking level. Like the second you like stoop down to like someone else's level because you're like, no, they're nice or whatever, it's like they're gonna like give you fucking evil eye, like jealousy and shit like that. And like you're gonna lose. Like it's just not like hang around your people, like stay with your people, like you don't need to like I need to stop like giving my energy to like anything and anyone, you know, like I need to be more like more in my like royalty, more in my like high priestess energy, where I'm like, no, you're not enough for me. Like if you're not enough, you're not enough. It's like girls who date guys that are like never gonna that are like hot, but like they're never gonna give them what they want, or they're just not enough for them. They're not enough. Same with friendships. It's like sometimes people are just not enough because they're not on your level. It's not that they're not enough like as a person. It's that they don't feed themselves enough. Like they're not like maybe emotionally enriched. Maybe they're not like their life is not enriched in the moment. It doesn't mean it like can't change, you know? Like cuz people like sometimes you're down. There's been times in my life like where like I've been going through shit and I'm just like I'm not enough for like other people cuz it's like I'm going through such a hard time that like I'm barely surviving, that like I can't be like a good friend to like anyone else, you know what I mean? So like yeah, I've been not enough for people like plenty of times. I need to surround myself with people where there's going to be an equal give and take, you know? So it's like sometimes you just got to leave people behind if it's like not going to be an equal give and take, which is like so sad because like you could love them to like the ends of the earth, but it's like if you're not giving anything, you know, if you're just going to drain me, it's like I have to choose. I got to level up at one point, and like I got to go up here, you know? Like I can't be down. I can't be down in the dumps with you anymore. That's kind of how I felt like working at that store, you know? Actually, no, I didn't feel that because I was an anxious attachment. Like I was like, please, like just love me, but like I was never gonna feel loved by them because they. You guys, I've been thinking I've been wanting to move to New York lately. Like I just, what am I talking about lately? Like I've always wanted to move to New York, but I don't know. Lately, I'm feeling like maybe it's like really fucking time. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm watching Trisha Paytas, of course. Like, who else would I be watching? I never saw her mukbang with Holly Madison. Sorry, I need to click play so I can press pause so that when I talk. So when I'm done making this video, I can watch this. Making Trisha order eat the cheeseburger. Patricia is a nugget girl. Trisha and I have the same taste in food, by the way. Isn't that funny? Like we have the same exact taste, and also she doesn't like sauce, and I hate sauce too. So like I love watching her eat because everything she eats, I'm like, that's what I would order. God, she's so funny. What I wanted to say is like I think it's 2024, and I really think it's like so crazy how people like really use people's mental health. Like when you're like open about your mental health, like people really be using that against you. Like for example, like this was so like this is like what I think why I think I was like, oh my god, like this is why I got hurt so bad was because I was like, I thought it was like normal to be like, cause like the way I talk to my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, like on Lexapro right now, like so fucking depressed. But like that doesn't mean I'm like an emotionally unstable person. Like if you were to ask anyone in my family, like I'm very like, I'm just very, I am emotionally stable. Like I keep all my emotions, like I am very sensitive and like I do go through a lot emotionally, but I'm very like internal about it. And I do think I'm very good at like processing. I'm like very hyper aware and like good at like not projecting it on other people like when I'm going through a hard time and like well I think it's hard not to project on people because if you don't feel good like you're not going to make anyone else feel good around you. But like I don't like dump my problems on like other people. And like I'm never one to like I've never been one to like react like in like crazy ways, you know what I mean? Like I've always been like very together, I think. And I think coming with being a sensitive person and with someone that's not afraid to like face emotions, it makes me very emotionally intelligent. And so I'm a person that doesn't just like freak out over nothing, you know? Like one of my best qualities is that like I can like see the bigger picture of things. And so like because I'm that way, I always feel very like open and free. Well, I'm always just like open and free, but like I never had like an insecurity about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't tell people like that I'm struggling emotionally, or maybe I shouldn't tell people like my thoughts, my like inner dialogue, or maybe I shouldn't tell people that I'm on Lexapro because like I never would have imagined that it would ever like be used against me, like because I'm like, why would it be used against me if I'm not like reckless, like reckless with my emotions, like reckless, especially like in a workplace, you know what I'm saying? So it's like so when the horrible part of like this whole thing and me like needing to know my worth is like when I started working there, like I loved the owner. I always say this, the owner so much. Like I still love her so much. Like one of my favorite people, but not someone like I need to be around right now. Like I need to be careful of saying that because like I don't need her like coming back around in my life. But like definitely definitely like wasn't a person that was good for me because I'm more emotionally intelligent than she is. And like she's the type to just like lash out on people and like stuff like that. Like just like there's just things some people are like they're not emotionally intelligent, but they have like other strengths. Like it doesn't mean they're like like it doesn't make someone like less of a person to be like less emotionally intelligent than you. Okay. So like it's not even mean that I'm saying that because she's better at business than me. You know what I'm saying? Like she gets more shit done than me, like when it comes down to like making money and stuff like that. So anyway, and it's like which is more important? Like she knows how to provide for herself, and like I can't figure that out. No, I can, but like it's a struggle. It just doesn't come naturally. So anyway, um, yeah. So the owner would like go, oh, Jesus, really red flag, red flag. So that when I first started, like the owner and I like we're kind of twin flaming in a way where it's like our lives are like very similar. We look the same. She's super into fashion. We always had like a lot to connect on. A little bit of the same type of humor and just like very karmic, where it's like everything we just like love everything about each other, but like also we trigger the shit out of each other. So we would like I just like attached to her. We just like attached to each other like right away. And like I we would call each other and like talk on the phone for like 3 hours a night and shit like that. Well, the problem is with that, and this is where like the manager comes in, is like she fucking like she fucking like the manager is like her girl that like does everything for her, you know? Like does literally fucking everything for her. Like doesn't wipe her ass and stuff like that, but she's the manager of the store. So like she does like makes the schedule, does like all the like fucking bullshit work. So she's like a very like important person to the owner. And like yeah, she's important like emotionally too, but like also it's like she does a lot for her. Like, you know, so of course she's going to be like I just don't think that if she did all that extra bullshit for her, she would like her as much as me. But like that's where I think the jealousy came in because like the owner was like naturally in love with me for like no fucking reason, and like we were like just connected, and it's like yeah, the manager who was there before me, I think she like felt jealousy towards that, you know, like oh like why do you just like love this other girl, you know, like why not me type of thing. And like and it's like that was kind of slippery because like and I never like wanted to like come out and say this, but it's like also to the owner it's like wake up bitch, like you don't think she's jealous of me? Like she tried to play it off like oh no the manager like loves you. I'm like bitch, she doesn't love me. Like the vibes weren't always like she doesn't love me. Like the second like I even started working at the store, the manager like I'm an intuitive person, like you just and you don't think I know what jealousy is bitch. Like out of my fucking 33 years of life being this, being looking like this, being me, being Billy Joe Pickles, you don't think I know what jealousy? You think like I don't know the feeling of like when someone's jealous of me, even when they like try so fucking hard. The thing is with jealousy is like you can't hide it. Like you can't hide it forever. Just like the energy reeks. It like seethes out their teeth. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so the manager had no choice to be like, oh my God, like I love Billy. Like she's a great asset to the team. Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, bitch, stop, like, and that's why from the beginning I was always like I don't like her, like get her away from me, like I don't like I was always open about saying like I didn't like the manager. I was like I don't there's something, no, like keep her away from me because I was like she's like a I just felt that like jealousy, that like jealousy, you know, and like sometimes people can't help. I was like justified, justified, you know, like if that if the roles were reversed and I was trying to make the owner love me so bad and like another bitch came in who just like naturally bonded with her and like such a crazy like emotional like beautiful level, and the bitch will look like me and the bitch like fucking like had all these skills because let's face it, like I don't know how well you guys know me. Some of you like know me really well, some of you don't know me at all. But like I'm a very creative person. I'm very like skilled, talented person when it like comes to fashion and like stuff like that. And like I was made for that job, you know, like the store, like the clothes that the store carried were like perfectly matched my style. Like these are pants actually from the store. So it's just like of course there would be jealousy there. But like I didn't have to have jealousy towards her because like just looking at her, like I'm like, oh, she's like not on my level. Like she's on my like I got this like yeah, like she's like cool and like I wanted to be friends with her. But if she wanted to be like a jealous bitch, I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Like I wanted to be friends, but it's like it wasn't gonna happen because like I could feel the jealousy. So anyway, the problem is the owner like one of those people who like doesn't shut the fuck up about people, and like she leaks her energy by like gossiping, like she just like that's who she is, like she talks to everyone like about everyone. And like I don't fuck with people like that usually, and like I've tried to tell, like at the beginning she was telling me about someone that used to be in her life, and she was like I'm not even going to say the name because I don't even want this person's feelings to get hurt, but she would like tell me all this stuff that like I did not need to know like at all. And I was like you need to stop, like why are you telling me this, like you need to stop, like you need to stop, like why are you fucking like why are you fucking like going around and like telling me her business, like it's not cool, it's not right, like fucking like what are you doing. And like she like kind of was like oh okay like well like And like she even said like you're making me feel bad about like being like, and like you should feel bad about that. Like it's not cool to like be that type of person. So like that was just like the energy, that the vibe that I walked, like the company I walked into, like everyone calls everyone about to talk about like each other, and the manager and the owner, like their whole relationship is like talking about other people, and talking shit about their employees. And like they pretend to their faces like, oh, like no, we like love you so much, but like all they do is fucking like collect information so that they can run and tell each other. And I'm like, I don't need to be doing that. Like I have other shit. Obviously, by having my YouTube channel, I have other shit to talk about than like other people. Like I don't need to talk about other people because like I'm interesting enough in myself that like I don't need to talk about other people. Look at me. I don't need to talk about other people. I'm talking about them. So good. So good. So good. Okay, so anyway. Love that for me. Okay, so when I first started, I was telling the owner like I was going through it, like taking Lexapro. I stopped taking Lexapro. Like the week I started, I like stopped my Lexapro and it started like fucking up my brain. I was like, oh no, like I'm sinking again. Cause I'll go through like ups and downs in life, right? So like thinking like she was my friend, well, she goes off and like runs her mouth to like everyone that fucking works there. And so then like the manager of the store, like then she found out that like I was taking Lexapro, and she was like, everyone started treating me like I was a fucking mental patient, like kind of like using my mental health struggles like against me. And I was like, okay, like this is crazy. But like it's like almost like I needed a job. Like I was so desperate for a job, and like I loved like I did love them at the end of it. This is where it's not. This is where I learned my lesson. The second you have a red flag, Billy, and the second your values don't align with other people, you're out. Like I should have been out that first week. I'm out. Like you guys are gonna talk about my mental health. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. And now I know. We learned the lesson. Now I know. Anyway, so but I didn't do that. So so the thing is, like, from that day forward, like the manager had some fucking like boner about like trying to use my emotions and my mental health like against me. But what's so crazy is like she was seeing me through this perception of like, oh, I'm just like unstable, and it's like I'm like, what? Like, I've never been a bitch to like call out of work. I've never been a bitch to like cry at work. I've never been a bitch to like cause a scene because my emotions are just taking over me. Actually, like, I would say the opposite. Like, I really like when really shitty, crazy things happen to me, I really know how to like hone it in better than most people and like deal with it internally. So the fact that they were seeing me through this lens of like and like weaponizing my mental health against me and like gaslighting me into like trying to make me someone that's like fucking emotionally like unstable was just like so fucking crazy and so fucking disheartening. And like that's why I fucking hated the bitch. Like cuz I was like, don't fucking treat me like like the best is too like one day my grandpa was dying and I had to work and the owner was treating me like shit. I talked about this like the Barrett Jackson. I don't know if you watched it. Anyway, something happened at like Barrett Jackson and like I started crying at work and like I was crying to the owner and like the manager she always tried to pull a like you're crying like, oh, of course Billy's crying, of course Billy's crying, like of course Billy's gonna make a scene doing this. And I'm like they try to like put this narrative on me that was like, oh yeah, like of course Billy is gonna like make a scene and like do this, and like that's just like not me. Like that's just like not me, like at all, at all. And so I was like, what? Like I almost like was like I was just like I knew they were like seeing me as like someone I'm not, but it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, what am I gonna say? Like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Like, it's almost like I was stuck in a pickle. Like I was stuck in like some sick fucking gaslighting thing. Cause it's like the more I would say I was not crazy, the more I felt crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, this is crazy. crazy. This is making me like I got gaslit so hard, you guys, into like this is where I got so fucked up emotionally. Cause I was like, people were trying so hard to tell me I was crazy. And then like I couldn't stand up for myself and say I wasn't crazy because that would make me look crazy. Like because I wasn't doing anything. Like it was just like, oh my god, like chef's kiss to the universe on that one to get me stuck in that fucking pickle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like when I was crying at Barrett Jackson because my grandpa was actually fucking dying, like there was no sympathy for me. Like I never cry at work, okay? Like this was one of the few times I was like crying at work, and it's like no, I didn't get any sympathy because it's like oh she was like they were just like oh like Billy's like emotionally gave them no reason to think except for told them about the Lexapro that I was like emotionally unstable or like didn't deserve even if someone wasn't emotionally unstable and they were crying at work and stuff like have enough compassion. That's like a different subject. But anyway, like the bitch hated me. So she wanted me out. She wanted me out. And the best is like to the owner, I'd be like, shoot, I don't think she really likes me. And the owner's like, all she does is say great things about you, Billy. And I'm like, of course. That's like the number one thing. Like jealous people, like you think they're ever gonna admit their jealousy? That's when you know it's bad. Like it would have been better. It would have been better. It would have been she was less jealous and she was like, yeah, I don't know. I just like Billy makes me feel insecure. I was better at her job than she was. Like, not to go that far because like I wasn't really doing her job, but like if I wanted her job, I could have been better at it. Like I'm more talented. I'm more skilled. I'm Billy Joe Pickles. Like I got the sauce. I got the sauce. I got the secret sauce. And like she doesn't have the Billy Joe Pickles sauce, you know? Like so it's just like the proof is in the pudding, baby. Like you stand there and I'll stand here. And like the crowd's always going to beat me. It's always going to be Billy Joe Pickles. I know I sound crazy. I know I sound egotistical, but that's where it's like Taryn was trying to teach me. Like, she's like, sometimes you just got to be better than people, you know, Billy? Like, sometimes you just got to look at people and be like, I'm better than you so that you don't get yourself mixed into bullshit, you know? Because if I would have walked into the situation knowing my worth and been like, I'm better than you, then like, I wouldn't even be telling this story right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that was the lesson. Anyway, so so you guys, this is great. This is like if I don't get an unfollow from this video, like I don't even know. Like this is for the girlies though that like need to know their worth. Okay? Like this is for the girlies like me. Like I'm making videos for people like me. So like if you have real one, then like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. And if like you need to unfollow me, like I get it. I understand that. I understand that. So where were we? So anytime anyway, like the crazy part is like I know that she would like always call the owner and be like Billy blah, 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 like trying to just like spread like the thing is like you can't like talk about someone if you're not even like seeing them correctly, you know? Like she wasn't even like they both didn't. Like it's one thing they just like no one at that place was like seeing me for like who I truly was. Like they were seeing me through a lens that like was a lens of their projection of me, you know? So and like I'm very like just haha. I've dealt with this a lot. I've always just like laughed it off. Like if someone like misunderstands me and stuff, I'm very like it's very easy for me to be like to just like laugh things off and be like, oh, like they don't get me. Like ha ha ha. Like that's okay. And like I think this was like a lesson from the universe of like no you need to like don't ever laugh that off. Like you need to stand up for yourself if people like are perceiving you the wrong way. Like it's not funny. You need to like put your foot down, you know. And for example, like anytime like I probably I've probably been face to face with the girl for a total of like well we worked that one shift at Bear Jackson together. So that was like 4 hours. Interview process an hour. And then we saw each other for like 6 months at like probably once or twice a week for like 10-minute increments because it was just that like shift change. So the bitch probably really only knew me, like saw me face to face for a total of like 7 to 10 hours. So the fact that she had like so much to say about me was like, you don't even know me. Like, you know, like you've only seen me for like a total of 7 hours. Like you don't know anything about me. And like she never tried to like get to know me because she just had an idea in her head, just like the owner of like what I was, and like that's what I was gonna be. It's like so when I would see her during shift change, I was very like she always treated me very like dismissively. And so that's where I felt like my mental health was like being used against me because it's like just because you have mental health problems, if you actually have mental health problems, it means you're fucking intelligent, okay? Like let's get that straight. Number 1. Like if you're depressed, that means you're like sensitive and you understand your surroundings and you understand what's going on. You're not like bypassing shit, you know? So like you're like extremely like you're one of the emotionally intelligent people if you like have mental health issues. I know. I know that for a fact. People who don't have mental health issues, they're usually like the dumbasses in the world, okay? Like they just like cuz they don't understand shit. They don't understand enough to have mental health problems, you know? And so it's like to treat me like I'm less intelligent because I have mental health like because I'm like have mental health problems is like crazy. And like to be dismissive to someone because they have mental health problems in your eyes is fucking like that's just like another level of like gross that like I just don't fuck with that. You know, like I fuck with the real people, like people who are authentic enough to be like vulnerable, you know, about like what's going on in their head because it's like nothing like I'm not the type to like even if I like was met face to face with someone I perceived as like better than me or like wanted to like challenge, you know. And I think it was hard for her cuz she had never like worked with someone as a fucking 24-year-old manager like and I'm 33 like for someone to like come in and like you like the whole problem is like she's a fucking young manager, she's 24 years old. I never That was never a problem with me, still respectful to her age, like don't care, but like maybe like when you're like the problem is I just felt like she just wanted to play like an ego game and like I don't really like play that, you know? Like if I'm the type of leader where like if I see someone's skills and I see someone's talent, like I will, and I'm supposed to be perceived as like higher than them, like the manager, like I'm always going to put them, like the people who are like good at their job, like I'm going to put them on a pedestal, you know? And like I'm going to put my ego down to them, even though I'm supposed to be like their manager. It's like, oh my God, like if you have more experience than me and you're like, you just have more life experience and you're like more creative than me and like you are above me in like a lot of ways that I could use, then like I'm always the type that's like I want those people around me, you know? And I think that's why I've like become such a big broad like creative like force, you know, to be reckoned with in this world because like I've never been afraid to surround myself with people who are better than me because it's like I will take that information from them and be like, "Oh, this is how you do things." Like you have to put your ego down to be like, oh my God, like you're doing stuff like, yeah, like I would love to hear your ideas. I would like love to hear. And the thing is like with her it was never like that. Like she would pretend like she was going to be like that, but anytime like I would call her for an idea, it was immediate shutdown. Everything like I would suggest was like a no. And like it got to the point where like I called her once and I was like, "Oh, I think blah 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 blah," and she goes, no, blah blah," like acted like a total fucking cunt. Okay, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Hangs up the phone, and then I get a call back 5 minutes later because she knows she just acted like fucking crazy and was like, "Actually, Billy, like, yeah, I think that would be a really beneficial idea." Like she would have to like catch herself because her first instinct reaction to me was always to be like, "No, no, no," like a fucking cunt, you know. And it's just because like her ego couldn't fucking handle it, you know? Like like I get it. Like I get it. But like at the same time it's like try harder, you know? And like I'm not the type to like use people's mental health against them and stuff like that and act conniving in ways like that or try to push them out. Like I'm just like let's let this play out. But also I've just never been insecure enough to act that way because I've always been like one of the people that are like at the top, you know? Like and yeah, there's going to be times in my life where like I come around people who where like I'm going to be at the bottom. There have been times where I've come up against people and I'm like at the bottom of the totem pole, but the thing is I shut up and put my ego down and I let them kind of in a way like feels like they're like stomping on you, like stomping all over my ego. And I've like learned to let people do that because it just like makes me better at the end of the day, you know? Like it's just something in life you got to learn if you want to level up. Like feel stomped on, feel like you're not enough. Like those are all valid. Like, but you just have to like, if you want to like get somewhere, like you got to like know how to feel that way to like, and that's a thing. Like, I just feel like she never, like, the owner's like, no, Billy, like, she doesn't really have an ego. Like, she's a very humble person. It's like, okay, well, she's a humble person with you, but she's not a humble person with me. You know, like there was something about me that like triggered her. And like she did a good job of telling everyone, like, no, like what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, Billy's the best. I love Billy. I love what she brings to the table. Like, I love, and it's like, bitch, if you loved it so much, how come you're treating me like dirt? But like when you're face to face, like, no. And so when I would come into work and stuff, like it was always very dismissive. Like any and all my ideas were met with a, oh my god. Like she loved to do this to me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like everything was like, oh my god. Oh my god. And I'm just like, stop. Like stop. Like why are you fucking like get away? That's when I was telling the owner, I'm like, I don't want her near me. I don't want her near me. Like it's too much. It's too stupid. Like I'm too smart for her. Like she's fucking like ruining my vibe. Like I can't take the like, oh my god, nah, 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 nah. Like I hate when people do that to me. And it does happen to me a lot. I've had managers, a lot of managers do this to me, especially older women that are fucking jealous of me. But it's because I have a funny, goofy. The name of my channel is fucking Billy Joe Pickles, okay? And like I can be funny and goofy because I don't have like a insecurity about my intelligence. The goofiness, the funniness, the unseriousness of my vibe is what makes me intelligent, you know? And so, like, the fact that I was being, instead of like them using that as like cultivation for their business, it was always like she would try to like put me down by being like, oh my God. Oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy. And like, yeah, I think that's funny. Like, I love when my, like, do stuff and my friends are always like, oh my, like, they actually are like shocked. Like I love giving that like shock factor to like my friends and my friends being like, "Oh my god, you're fucking nuts." But never are the vibes with my friends of like them being like, "Oh my god, you're just like unhinged," you know? Like cuz it's like, no. Like I'm a very controlled chaos, you know? Like I got my shit under control, but I'm going to act like I don't. But like my shit's like on lock, you know? I got my shit on lock. It's just I just do, especially like now that I'm in my 30s, like my shit's on lock. And no, there's always room to like grow and I'm not scared to like also a thing about me is I'm not scared to make a mistake, you know? I'm not scared to be in my ego and then make like maybe this making this video is a mistake and then one day I'll take it down and be like, "Oh my god, I never should have said that. Like let me go apologize," you know? But you know, like that's life. Got to live, got to learn. Um but yeah, that was my whole problem with her because I was just like, the fucking like I'm like, you have the thing is everything is just a projection. So the fact that she was like fucking projecting that on me, like projecting like this like cannot take you serious type of thing. It's like, well, that means that you don't take yourself serious. It's like you shouldn't be taking yourself serious. Like yeah. So that was just crazy. It's just crazy. It's like a different type of pain when people around you are trying to make you. I think a lot of people have gone through this. Like I've heard a lot of people talk about this where they're like maybe your jokiness or maybe like just when people try to like weaponize your intelligence against you and try to make you feel like you're less than them or like your decisions are not correct or like oh just because of your past because you did that like it just means like we can't trust you, we can't trust you. The best is one time that bitch really got on the phone and she goes, yeah, so just because of the way you acted, like Yolanda and I feel like we just can't really trust your word anymore. That bitch said that to me. Like I've never had someone talk to me like the way she talked to me. And I told this to the owner and the owner goes, "That's just the way she talks, Billy." I'm like, "That's just the way she talks?" Like never in my life had I had someone tell me that anything I say cannot be taken seriously anymore. Like what? What? And so also the bitch would call me up and watch my videos, call me up and then try to give me advice. Like unsolicited advice. I was like, I've been on the phone with her and been like, "You don't know me. You don't know me. And she'd go, you're right. I really don't know you that well. And I'm hoping what I think of you is wrong. But from your actions, I have gathered. And it's like, you know, when people like take like little things that you do like out of fucking context. And it's like, just the more you defend yourself to these people, like the crazier you look. So I would just be like, okay, like, oh, like I told the owner, I was like, I literally have to sit on the phone and like suck her dick and be like, yeah, you're so right. You're so right. Like, never again. Never again. Lesson number two, never again will I fucking lower my ego for someone like that. Like, no, 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 no. I hate myself for that. I hate myself for that. She called me. She goes, yeah, I really think like since you're depressed because you don't have a dog, like you should really get a dog. Like, well, like trying to tell me how to treat my depression. I'm like, you need the owner would call, and then I'd be like, the audacity she has to try to like help. Like, you need to get her away from me. I can't have someone like trying to tell me like how to treat my depression. The owner goes, Billy, she's dealt with a lot of people in her life that go through mental struggles. So she knows what it's like. And I go, what? I go, what? I go, I'm sorry, but only people with mental health problems, only the person knows what they're going through, not anyone else. And the owner really tried to clap back at me and be like, "No, Billy, she's dealt with people. She's seen people with mental health struggles and she knows what she's talking about." And I'm like, oh, like also like mental health struggles. Like what? Because I'm depressed. Like, what are you talking about? Like these people acted like I was fucking like I had fucking like even if I don't even want to like say like I had fucking borderline personality disorder or like whatever, like all like schizophrenic, whatever. Because it's like I don't even want to downplay those people. Like those people who have diseases like that, it's like doesn't make you less intelligent, doesn't make you less of a person, it doesn't mean you should feel unheard and doesn't make your opinions matter less. Okay? Okay. So if you have I know a lot of people with borderline personality disorder and people don't like to come out and say it and they don't like to come out and say it because things like this happen to them. What happened to me? Where you come out and you're vulnerable and then people don't take you serious or they don't take your opinion seriously. And it's like, don't ever, 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 ever let someone do that to you. Walk away from those people. They're the ones that have fucking problems in their head, okay? Okay, because if you're vulnerable enough to like come out and say it, it means that like you're powerful enough to do that. You know what you're self-aware. You know what you're talking about and you're helping other people by doing that. So like don't let people come up against you who think they're like superior in the brain, just superior to you. Like, "Oh, you do crazy things." Like don't let people gaslight you into thinking you're like, "Oh, you're dangerous to be around because you but no. No, we're done. It's 2024. We're done. We're done with that. We're done with that. Okay. Like, go back to 2020. No, not even 2020. Go back to 2015. Go back to 2015, bitch. Okay. You fucking idiot. People. People who treat people like there's it's just like those people will always get their karma, you know, like and their karma is probably living in their heads, live like I can't imagine being one of those people that someone that like weaponizes someone that feels so powerless in themselves and so less than that they need to go up against people by like weaponizing their mental like just trying to like instead of like fighting a fair game going toe to toe with them, you know, and being like let the best woman win, you need to play dirty like that. It's like, yeah, you are sad. You are what I thought you were. And that was like the whole situation. I'm like, you are exactly what I thought you are. You people are exactly what I thought you were. Couldn't even go toe to toe with me. You need a whole fucking bandwagon group to come against me. Cause you know I'm better than you. I need to get some water and we're gonna keep going. Yeah, and also turn my microphone. And also, it's like, yeah, like you're allowed to be angry, you know? Like I hate the whole thing like, "Oh, look at her going crazy cuz she's angry. She's so angry. Look at her. Look at her." It's like, yeah, Be angry. Be angry. Like, you know what? It's 2024. It's time to be angry. It's time to stand up for ourselves. And it's time to be like, no, I'm not going to be treated like that. And the best is I've dealt with these types of people too, where they go, the second you start standing up for yourself, they go, look at, see, you're just angry. Look at you, look at you, look at you. Because they push you and push you and push you and push you until like you're getting to your fucking breaking point because you're so sick of being treated with so much disrespect. And then they go, and then when you freak out, they go, oh my God, see? Oh my God, see? This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just because you can't handle my anger, like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, no, you want to fight? Like, let's start fighting. Let's bring back physical altercations. Hey, kids. You guys, I'm cracking up right now over how psychotic this is. Oh my God, I do have problems. I do have problems. It's called healing, bitch. Because then I can post this video and I can let people deal with it for me. I was telling Taryn that. I'm like, I heal through my videos because I post shit and then I never think about it again. And I'm like, let the crowd deal with it. Let's let YouTube deal with it now, you know? There is like a energy release to it. It's like anytime I post, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, it's out of my system. Let's let the world deal with it now. Let's let YouTube deal with it. Yeah, the mental health being used against me wasn't the only thing. But yeah, fucking crazy, dude. Fucking crazy times. Okay, now I think I just need to relax and watch Trisha Paytas. I'll keep talking about the situation in videos to come, I'm sure of it. But like, yeah, this was a good segment. Segment 1. Segment 2. This is actually like segment 6. I feel like I brought it up in other videos too. This is like segment 6. Let's see how many we go until I decide I'm done with it. But like, you know what? I'm telling my story. I'm telling my story and I don't give a fuck how I look. Okay, you want to tell me I'm crazy? I'm so crazy. I'm so unhinged. I'm unhinged for telling my side of the story. Unhinged. To get more unhinged content, tune in next week. Tune in a couple days. Tune in a couple days because I'm in my villain era. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking about. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because you know what? If you don't want to be talked about by other people, then treat them right. You know, treat them right. And don't get me wrong, I've given these people months to come back, like to apologize. I've given them a chance. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. If this was something that was helpful to you, if you just want me to go back to my fucking makeup, I don't even, to the fucking dumb shit I talk about, let me know. Let me know. But if someone found any type of like validation through this, hit the like button. Okay? Thank you. Bye. I love you.